Hey everyone, and welcome to another ServiceNow video. Today we're going to talk about some basics of predictive intelligence. Let me tell you that this is not going to be an implementation video. We'll just see what ServiceNow has to offer for predictive intelligence. Well, as we know that predictive intelligence is a product or interface by which we can train models, which uses, of course, ServiceNow data that's hosted on the ServiceNow's AI platform. The models will help you predict a behavior or a value, segment data into different clusters, or identify records for similarity so that one can do further analysis. Some basic advantages are that it's a product, it's not a project, right? So you're not trying to build an ML capability using any language, it's already there for you. You don't need a data scientist to configure or tune your models. Any citizen developer or anyone who has access to predictive intelligence can do them by self. So that way, each one of us who is going to build a model and fine tune the data is a data scientist. And last, well, it's quick time to value, up and running in one day. It's really easy to configure, and the results can be seen in a couple of minutes or couple of hours. So from a ServiceNow perspective, they have divided their modeling, if you may want to say, into two different categories: a supervised learning and an unsupervised learning. So the supervised learning attempts to explain the behavior or predict a value or a target attribute, and the unsupervised learning is trying to discover patterns or relationships between different data. And then further, they are divided into different uh, learnings. So for supervised, it is classification, regression, and for unsupervised, it is clustering and similarity. So let's look at what classification is. Well, classification attempts to explain the behavior of a target attribute as a set of independent input attributes, which means, in a nutshell, it's just trying to predict a value. The most common use case for predictive intelligence that we see. For example, if my CI in short description is so and so, what is going to be my assignment group, right? And regression is it predicts a numerical value for a target based on independent values. So this would essentially be something like, how much time would a ticket take to resolve if a CI is so and so and short description is so and so and it is with a specific assignment group, something of that nature. Similarly, on the unsupervised side, we have clustering, which is grouping records into clusters so that you can see bunch of records tied together. And similarity is looking up of records that have very similar uh, data or context as we may want to see based on whatever we see as inputs. Again, you would notice that we are not really trying to predict here anything. We are just trying to observe a pattern or behavior with an available data. Well, language support, yeah. So, I mean, mostly ServiceNow is all English language based, uh, but predictive intelligence can be run on other non-English languages as well, and it does give you an option to support different languages, where you can see at the bottom all the languages that are supported. Encryption. So, yeah, if you have FTE encryption or you have platform level encryption, predictive intelligence can consider that data. However, if there is edge encryption enabled for a ServiceNow instance, then it won't work. So this is how the landing page or the home page of predictive intelligence looks like. We are currently in Rome. This is my developer instance, and predictive intelligence is automatically enabled on all instances. However, you cannot train a model in a developer instance. You have to contact the ServiceNow account team if you want to get predictive intelligence enabled. Okay, so yeah, on the home page it talks about the different models that we spoke about briefly. If I have any solution definition, it would show up here. Currently it's a vanilla instance, so there is nothing in. On the left hand side, these are the menu links for predictive intelligence. Homepage is where we are at right now. We have 4 different sections for each of the models: training jobs, word corpus, and stop words. So under each model, it gives you a provision to create a solution definition, which is what you want to train for. Once it is trained, it spits a solutions out of it. You can see a similar trend. For classification, you would find a prediction results report, because like we discussed earlier, classification and regression are more on the prediction side than really drawing similarity or a behavior trend. Okay, so that's kind of the high level here. Training jobs. So how the ServiceNow PI really works is, once you create a solution, that solution is sent over to the nearest ServiceNow training instance for data training. So that training is actually happening in a separate ServiceNow instance, not within the customer or your ServiceNow instance. Once that happens, the results are sent back over to ServiceNow in the form of solution, where one can visualize what the output is, or they can analyze what has been trained so far. So these training jobs, just like you have jobs in performance analytics, are very similar, where they are sending data over to a ServiceNow training instance. Word corpus. As we will see in upcoming videos, we'll talk about word corpus as well. But in a nutshell, word corpus is the vocabulary against which we are training our model. We are trying to predict something here, right? So we want to make sure that all the description, all the text that our model is going to capture has a meaning to it, right? And you can only get meaning when you know what words and what context to associate it to, which is word corpus. I believe there is like a 300,000 record limit to build a word corpus. We can always look at that. Stop words. So stop words is a common ML phenomenon where we do not want to train our model on some common words like and, which, things of that nature. Okay, so that's like a very high level of ServiceNow predictive intelligence basics. In the upcoming video, we will take a deeper link into how to create solution definitions for each of these 4 different types of models and how to study them. So I thank you guys for going through my content, and hope you've learned something new. Thank you.